Hey, I am here with the Mini Jam 71. Theme was puzzles. The restriction was combine two genres. So and I am here with Tetraform. I'm curious to see what this will be. I think it said it was a puzzle action platformer combined with puzzle, so puzzle platformer. So let's see. Play in full screen for best experience. WASD to move the character in the platformer. Arrow keys to play Tetris once acquired. Ooh, sounds interesting already. E to pull the current moving Tetris block. What you only do when your pull power is above 0. Space to freeze, unfreeze, last place Tetris boss. Press R to reset if stuck. Left shift to pause. Unpause Tetris. Excuse me. Be warned, you cannot pull a piece with Tetris paused. That would make it lonely. Thanks for playing. We will be working on bugs as they rear their ugly heads. Well, hopefully I come across a few that you can squash. Well, hopefully I come across none, but I don't think there's any mouse control, so I guess. A lot of friction. Like, I move so much faster in the air, it feels like. Yeah, let's go. Woo! I think it said E was to, like, pull blocks. E? Was it E? Maybe I'm dumb. Oh, damn, this music's jamming. I assume that's red, or bad, I mean, it is red. I assume it's bad because it's glowing red. Pretty straightforward platformer so far. The text that says lives is oh. I wasn't supposed to make that jump. It's a little hard to read. Yeah, there's a lot of... There's like a... I don't know what that... I don't know what that's called. The, like, almost 3D looking effect post-processing. Makes the lives thing hard to read. Although you can't read it because the lives doesn't go ahead of it. Pull. Oh geez, what? Oh god. So I literally am playing Tetris. Does this have the instant drop? No? Oh, okay. How do I place it though? Oh, E again. So wait. I have 0 pulls. So do I refill pulls by, like, getting a Tetris, maybe? I do. Oh, that's kind of cool. Man, I think you might have gone a little hard on that post-processing effect. It's like, near the edges, it's a lot. Nice. Oh my god, I can't. Kind of cool that you had like Tetris pieces earlier in the level. Kind of as like what's to come almost. Like there's going to be blocks that are Tetris pieces. I think I want specifically a T block. Nice. Well, wait a minute. Did I go back to the beginning of the game with my Tetris power by hitting restart? Don't know if that's intentional, but I'll take it. Is there anything in the game that like increases the difficulty of the of like the Tetris, or if it's, or is it just going to go on like at this speed forever? I'm just curious because it might be cool to like to almost have it like a difficulty. I think almost, I haven't used it yet, but I feel like the pause mechanic might honestly be almost a detriment. Because it's kind of interesting, because otherwise it's just literally, this is a, like, it's almost like this mechanic is, or how the game is played, I should say, is literally just you... Nice. Let's find out if I'm supposed to go over here. Like, oh. Basically, I just play Tetris occasionally. Sorry, I'm a little gassy. I just ate supper. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm supposed to be over here, but I mean, screw it. Let's just keep going the wrong way, but But it almost feels like you're just playing two games. Like you're not really playing a combination of like platforming and Tetris. You're mostly just playing Tetris for a little bit, so that you can continue progressing, and then you just pause it, and then you play the platformer. So I almost think keeping the platform, or like keeping the Tetris going no matter what, might be better. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm supposed to be over here. I will play properly. Yeah, I think even this section of level would be a little more interesting if I had to, Wait, what? Was that not the death gap? Oh, I guess not. Oh yeah, I forgot that that line piece is just there. I think it's there to kind of show you that line pieces won't, like, just fall over gaps. Oh yeah, my Tetris blocks disappear, so this is the hole. Man, this has a really cool visual style, though. Like the monochrome with the occasional color. Okay, yeah, so here we go. Oh, these pieces didn't disappear. No, I didn't want this, actually. Now, at least I can place those in walls so I can, like, fix my terrible, terrible decisions. It's like my mind is almost trying to hit, like, E, literally to, Nice. To, like, switch to Tetris mode, even though I know that's not the controls. I think the pole mechanic is genius, just because it makes you have to play Tetris like Tetris. Like, you have a reason to finish lines. Like, the ability to pause is nice, but I do think it does just lead to... Basically, you play Tetris for a bit, and then you just, like, stop playing Tetris. Then you just stop, and then you just play a platformer. When I think things are probably going to be way more interesting if you're just, like... playing both, if that makes sense. But this is a fantastic entry. This is really cool. 5-0 pulls. Let me build up some pole munition. I'll stop. I'm sorry. I'm really glad you have a grid. It means I'll be able to, go fast. There's no insta-dropping because you have rotate tied to, the up button, so you can't, like, insta-drop, which is a little sad. But whatever. It's like I want to use a line piece to progress, but I also like don't want to but I kind of need the line piece right now to continue building here. Honestly, something that could have been really spicy is... Oh, I didn't mean to have it in that direction. Something that would have been really interesting is if the pause button just, like, got rid of the Tetris thing. I don't need to see it when it's paused. Just have it, like... Like, when I hit pause here, just have it, like, slide off the screen. Give me the piece. Kind of like this buildy gameplay, though. Although it is a little RNG dependent, because you are just waiting for the right blocks. If I do this, I could just, like, drop this down. Because by playing Tetris for a long time, I'm just, like, building up a ton of poles. This is an awesome entry, by the way. Sorry if it doesn't sound like I'm not, like, praising it too much. This is fantastic. Oh, shit. Okay, so something that's interesting. What? Oh, I see. Well, that doesn't help me at all. That's a little unfortunate. I like the small amount of glow around all the Tetris pieces. Is that chromatic aberration that it's called? The, like, the 3D effect visual thing? I think that should probably be a little turned down a little bit. It's a little much. It sucks that you can't jump up like 2x2s, because it feels like a lot of... Oh, there we go. Jeez. I feel like a lot of the pieces feel so much worse because I can't. Oh my god. No! Not like this. Well, that's a good piece. These are good pieces. I have 0 pulls though. But yeah, like line pieces, the L pieces feel worthless. And I keep hitting E. I don't even know why. It's because I was doing that, obviously. You know, as soon as I say, you know, this type of piece seems useless, I get 2 in a row and make them work perfectly for what I need. So what do I know? I want to build up a few pieces before I go. I kind of want to play without using the pause button. I think that's a little more interesting, because then you have to manage things more. You have to, like, be aware of both. But I think if you wanted to keep the pause, it would be better if you just slid the thing off screen when you pause it. There we go. The platformer movement itself feels like there's so much friction. I feel like I go 10 times slower when I'm grounded. Oh, that was pretty short. Oh well. It is a game jam. Short is to be expected. Damn, that was really good, though. I'll go through it again, just for the sake of it. No reset button, it seems. Oh well. Click anywhere to play. Man, sorry I'm so gassy during this one. I just ate supper. But, oh yeah, I totally forgot that there's lives. It, like, blends in so well and just gets, like, pushed behind stuff that I just never noticed it. What was I at? Wait, what happens if I run out of lives? Just out of curiosity's sake. Yeah, no, this entry, pretty good. Again, I think the post-processing on the edges with the chromatic aberration, just a little much, but that's just my opinion. I love the black and white, like, color palette with the Tetris pieces being pretty much the only thing colored. These red enemies didn't seem very... Oh, no, they were used for that, like, giant gap. Oh, wait. Do the lives just loop? I wasn't paying attention. So I'm at 1. Zero. Three. Okay, so there really doesn't seem that there is a life system. It's just there to make you think there's a life system? I don't know. It's nice that you can't move this one and accidentally literally soft lock yourself. Yeah. The platformer movement doesn't feel super great, and I think it's just because of, like, high friction. Like, I feel like I drag when I'm not in the air. The air movement feels pretty nice, though. Oh, I didn't mean to pause. Right, I can speed up the falling. I wonder what a speedrun of this game would be like. It'd be a little... If there was insta-dropping, it would be spicy. Usually in Tetris, if you hit up, it instantly drops it straight down, like all the way. And you can see some crazy stuff happen when people can insta-drop. Oh, why'd I do it like that? Why did I do what I do? Well, I guess I'm just gonna restart. And it's hard to think of feedback because this is just really good. Like, there's not very much to change. It would be nice if it was a little more centered. Like if the camera was more centered on the player. But it's fine, you needed space for the Tetris pieces. I don't even have enough to... I'm already in my... I'm in a bit of a pickle Tetris-wise. Do you lose life if you fail in Tetris? I'm curious. But not, like, curious enough yet. I might do that at the end. Or maybe not. I'll just see what happens if I, like, fail. I have 2 pulls, so... I'm just pushing at the buttons, seeing how things work. Oh. I reset? No, reset doesn't reset the Tetris thing. You know, the Tetris pieces move so slow that I don't think like anybody would ever lose, but it's kind of a soft lock, right? Oh no, I can hit E. Well, I mean, can't waste this piece. I might literally only have 2 pulls left in the game. And running out of lives doesn't reset it either. Some more sound effects would be nice, specifically on like the player jump. Maybe like a quiet one for the player jump. Particles underneath the player when they jump. Just small things. But yeah, this is a really cool concept. I like that you made the you made use of making lines in Tetris. Something that could always like become a problem in like having Tetris in other games is lines being basically useless. But lines here pretty useful. In fact, they're required and necessary, which is good. That's really good design. No, well, I'm soft locked. Unfortunate. Well, let's go give this a rating then, shall we? So something I'm doing this time around is I'm gonna show you the ratings I give and give my thoughts on why and what you could change to get 5 stars. Start for 5 star. I think with enjoyment, I'm gonna go down to a 4, and I think it could have been a 5 star if there was like an incentive to like keep the Tetris going. Because as of right now, how it seems you play or you're supposed to play is you play the game for a little bit, like you do platforming for a little bit, and then you get to a puzzle, in which case you play Tetris for a bit, and then you get enough, then you get the right piece, and you play platforming for a bit, and then you Tetris for a bit. There's not like, because of the pause mechanic, it's just like, oh, you just stop playing Tetris at certain points, which is a little bit of a shame in my opinion. I think it would be better if it was, I think if you wanted to keep it the way it is, because that's how you want it, you want to be one way, then switch. I think the Tetris, like the Tetris game itself, just takes up way too much space, and not enough space when you're playing Tetris. If you want it to be like a separate thing, if you want it to be separate, I think when Tetris is on screen, maybe a little more centered, and when it's off screen, have it like slide off. Man, sorry if I'm coming across really harsh. It's really cool, like really good entry. Like don't get me wrong, it's a really good entry. Fantastic entry. I'm just giving my thoughts, my honest thoughts. Concept was great. I loved it. If anything, I would give it 4 stars for what I described in enjoyment. I guess I'll do that way. Yeah. Presentation was great. You had a really good color palette. Well, color palette black and white, and then Tetris blocks are colored. Oh, and the enemies are red. But the presentation was clear. Everything visually like made sense. You had preview. You had like a preview shadow to show exactly where the block was being dropped, and that was really good and important. You had a grid on the Tetris, so I knew where my pieces was going, so I could like insta drop. But there was no insta drop, which is a little sad because I love insta drop in Tetris. It feels really good when you do a bunch of insta drops in a row. Yeah, I guess I'll go back and take one off enjoyment because there's no insta drop. There's no like next piece preview, which I think are pretty important for Tetris. And I understand this was made in a 3-day span, so it's like you can't fit everything. But those 2 things would have been pretty important in my eyes. So yeah. Presentation, 5. I could give it a 4 for like, oh, there was the jump sound effect, or there was like a jump thing. I guess I'm also bringing it down for 4 because the jumping. There was so much friction on the player movement. Yeah, presentation, music's great, visuals are great, the sound effects are great. If anything, I would give it. If I had to take a star off for anything, it would be too much like of that one post-processing that makes things look slightly 3D. But honestly, I think that's more of a preference thing of mine, where I'm not a huge fan of it when it's too much. But I'll leave it as such. Use of limitation. Like it's a. I guess that's the key thing. It's not a platform puzzle, or it's not a puzzle platformer. It's an action platformer puzzle, which is slightly different. Like if I had to take anything, something I've been kind of doing is I've been taking a star off for basically game entry or gem entries that are just like very easy to combine genres. And what I mean by that are genres that are basically very well explored or common, like action adventure, action RPG, puzzle platformer. But this didn't feel like a puzzle platformer. It felt like a platformer with like a puzzle. You know, that phrasing makes it sound worse than what I mean it by, which is it feels like an action platformer with a puzzle stapled onto it. But I think the mechanics actually are much more cohesive than staples. It's like an action platformer with like a puzzle superglued to it by a professional woodworker. In a really weird way of describing it. Yeah, I'll give you 5 for use of limitation. Really good scores. I feel like with this method I've been doing, which was basically start from 5 going down and give it or take a star off for like things that could have given it a 5. I've been giving pretty high ratings. But yeah. Man, I wish there was more levels, or like or the level was longer, but that's just because the mechanic was really cool to play around with. I think the one of the last parts of the level was my favorite, which was the trying to climb up like a wall, and you have to kind of like go back and forth and actually kind of use the Tetris pieces together. That one was really cool. That had to be my favorite. Also, the bridge building ones were pretty cool too. Yeah, really solid entry. Really solid entry. Congrats on making this in 3 days. This is really good. Cheers.